And a good afternoon to you from Brunswick Community College. Today on YouTube, it's Dolphins basketball. Today's game brought to you by Coastal Insurance, and we certainly thank them for their sponsorship here today. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you again. It's the 5-2 Brunswick Dolphins hosting the 2-5 Wake Tech Eagles. Let's meet the starting lineups. First for Wake Tech, the Eagles. And head coach Adam Wainwright starting. Number 3, Justice Baldwin. Number 4, Cameron Humphrey. Number 23, Michael Armstrong. Number 35, TJ Dans. And number 32, Cade Culberson. Starting today for your Dolphins and head coach Walter Shaw in his 20th year is number 2, Reese McDonald. Number 4, Damon Osborne Harvey. Number 12, Trayvon Spencer. Number 13, Adrian Scarborough. And number 24, Silas Love. As you see the Dolphins controlling the opening tip. Brunswick coming off that 95-80 win just before the Thanksgiving holiday last Tuesday against Johnston Community College, a D3 opponent. They had 25 assists on 33 makes in that game. They forced 22 turnovers. Silas Love had 26 and 9. Jeremiah Pope led everybody, though, off the bench with 30. He was 8 from 11 from three-point range. As we open this game with back-to-back turnovers out on the run, it's Silas Love laying it in for 2, and the Dolphins get the scoring party started here in the opening minute. Wake Tech, they are coming off a 96-72 loss at Davidson Community College. That was also last Tuesday. Another steal by the Dolphins, and this time it's McDonald with 2 more to make it 4-zip in favor of Brunswick. So Wake Tech coming off a loss. They are 2-1 in Region 10 play. Now they're Region 10 and so is Brunswick, but Brunswick D1 Region 10, Wake Tech D2 Region 10, as Brunswick almost had the third steal of the night. Maybe they will. They do get it. Osborne Harvey, the alley-oop, and he laying it up and in. So off the alley-oop, Osborne Harvey connects for 2. And just like that, it's 6-0 here, not even 90 seconds into the game. Wake Tech sloppy. 5th turnover already. Silas Love's second run out as he throws it down with a right-hand jam. Adam Wainwright wants to talk about it. So we're 1 minute and 35 seconds in. The Dolphins have 4 steals. Wake Tech has 5 turnovers, and Brunswick out to an 8-0 lead. We'll be back here in just a moment. Well, despite the fact that this is not a region game, these two teams are certainly familiar with one another. Last year, Brunswick picked up a forfeit win against Wake Tech. They lost on the court, but the game was forfeited to the Dolphins, so Dolphins winning last year. Pull up by Baldwin, and he gets it to go. Wake Tech's a pretty good shooting team. Their problem is on this end of the court. They struggle defensively. McDonald on the right wing now for the Dolphins. Here's Osborne Harvey at the top of the key. Zone for Wake Tech. McDonald fakes the triple. Gets it out. Osborne Harvey. They say he kept his foot down, but he throws it away. So a bit sloppy here at the start. We're about 6 turnovers between these two teams in the early going. 17:42 to go as that ball just deflected out, but will stay with the Eagles. Wake Tech is 2-3 on the road this year. They have wins over Fayetteville Tech and Vance Granville. The 2 wins are region wins for them. They start Division 2, especially in Region 10. They start region play early. Brunswick won't start region play until the 2nd semester. Underneath, that shot was blocked, but a foul is called as Spencer thought he had all ball, averaging over a block a game. Trayvon Spencer from Columbia, North Carolina, but they say he got a piece of the hand. Michael Armstrong at the line, 71% on the season. First foul of the game as he swishes in the first one. Brunswick started out 8-0 in this game if you're just joining us, if you're a little bit late. Both free throws are good, so Wake Tech with a couple of, a bucket and then a couple of free throws cutting the deficit in half. McDonald, Osborne, Harvey. Quick pass out to McDonald. Swings it back over. Osborne, Harvey, too strong on the 3. Spencer, the hustle play. Extra possession. Now McDonald attacks. Dumps it underneath. Scarborough is fouled. And Adrian will go to the line. First foul of the game for Wake Tech. And it belongs to TJ Dans. Adrian Scarborough averaging double figures on the year, 10.6 points per ball game, shooting 78% from the charity stripe, but unable to get that one to go. One out of 2 for Scarborough. The lead is 5 for Brunswick. Just underway, Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Start of a pretty busy stretch for us. We're going to have 5 games over the next 10 days or so, culminating with the Holiday Classic. That'll be next weekend. And, folks, another foul called on Brunswick. That's going to send Baldwin to the line. Folks, if you have a chance, go out and go to Brunswick and check out the Classic. There'll be 3 great games going on every single day. Again, it's next weekend. It's not this coming weekend. It's always a good vibe because the kids are done with the semester. They've taken their finals, and they can just kind of relax and play basketball. And you see a lot of really good basketball on both sides. Early sub as Scarborough comes out after picking up his second foul. That brings in Jordan Furtlow. First chance to look at him as he was not playing when we had our last game against the JV from Francis Marion, but Jordan Furlow is a guy who played at USC Upstate from Myrtle Beach just down the road. And I believe that was a lane violation. So Dolphins basketball, they lead it by 4. Into the forecourt, it's McDonald. Spencer, turnaround jumper from the baseline is up and good. Brunswick leads by 6 now, 11-5. Baldwin. Swung over to Cooper now. Elijah Juan Cooper coming into the game wearing number 0 for Wake Tech. One of the subs as Dans attacks and scores. Brunswick coming quickly. Spencer the hop step, and a blocking foul is called. That'll send Spencer to the line. Trayvon Spencer, 69% free throw shooter, freshman from Columbia, North Carolina. And he bricks the first one. Dolphins have scored 90-plus in 5 of their first 6 games this season. In November, they averaged 95.6 points per game. Folks, that's the best scoring month for the Dolphins as we see the free throw go in. That's the best scoring month since 2016. It was also November in 2016. The Dolphins averaged over 100 a game in that season. So a great offensive start to the year. Deep 3 that time from Baldwin, no good. Rebound controlled by Love. The double-double threat, as always, Silas Love. Cutter is Furlow. Tip pass by McDonald to Love. Can't get it from the half circle. Ball tips around. Rebound controlled by Baldwin and Wake Tech. Justice Baldwin, the team's leading scorer at just under 20 points per ball game. Baldwin had 20 points in his first, over 20 points, at least 20 points is what I meant to say, 3rd time's the charm, in the first 3 games this year. He's cooled off slightly since then, still well over double figures scoring in all the games so far for Wake Tech as Brunswick gets yet another turnover. Still stealing the ball fairly well, as Walter Shaw's teams are prone to do. Furlow lost it out of bounds. They are 21st in Division I with 12.6 steals per ball game. Brunswick giving it back there, though, so Wake Tech will have the basketball. 12-7 here in the early stages of this opening half. Chris Shima, glad to be with you as always. We're at about the 15-minute mark. That ball tipped, deflected, taken away on the run out. a jam in the face. Can we get a little Sports Center top 10 on that one? My goodness. Trayvon Spencer making his presence felt. That ball deflected, but Wake Tech answers back. That was Armstrong with the highlight dunk. Love, was he out of bounds? They say yes, so a turnover, but man, the gym is hopping after those two dunks. As Walter Shaw makes a host of subs, Najee Thomas into the game. Looks like Jordan Campbell's coming into the game as well. We'll tell you about the rest of the subs here in just a moment. I want to mention Campbell for a second, though. 7.7 assists in his last 3 games. Jordan Campbell is in the top 50 in Division I in assists now at 5.4 per game. And like I said, almost 8 a game off the bench. So they join Furlow. Also coming in is Jeremiah Pope wearing number 3. I mentioned Campbell. I think I'm missing somebody else. Campbell Thomas. And I think it's the man tying his shoe right there. Cade Culberson will go to the line. It's Corey Rutherford. So that's the 5 for the Dolphins. Culberson, 50% free throw shooter. 14-10 left to go here in this opening half. Dolphins got out to an 8-0 start. Wake Tech has calmed down. Both free throws are missed. That's 3 team fouls for the Dolphins, 2 for Wake Tech here in the early stages. Jeremiah Pope shot over 50% in all but one game this year as he tries one from deep. Can't get it to go. Ball tapped to Furlow. Can't get it. Tries to tip it to himself again. Chasing it down in the corner, though, is Baldwin for Wake Tech. Baldwin gets a screen, goes right around the defense, and they say the ball was poked away. Jeremiah Pope says, how could I? I wasn't guarding him. A couple of subs for Adam Wainwright's team. Looks like Israel Atkins is in the game. He's got the ball over in the corner. Number 15 there, Sterling Benjamin. And another turnover. The Dolphins with 4 or 5 steals now at this point as Campbell comes up with it. Now this is Pope. Rutherford on the right, cross court to Pope. Again, just moving the ball against the zone, stepping left, firing a 3. Too strong was Campbell. Put back by Thomas, no. And a whistle comes all the way from the official near mid-court. Both teams now with 3 team fouls, and Najee Thomas is going to go to the line. Najee at 71% from the charity stripe here in 2019. He struggled, if I remember correctly, last year from the charity stripe, and I'm talking below maybe 50% even, so if that's the case, I'm going to have to look that up, but he has really turned things around. As you see, good form on those free throws. I am going to check that because I want to make sure I'm not throwing a poor kid under the bus. This is Baldwin. Scoop to Atkins. This is not a great scoring bench for Adam Wainwright as Atkins fakes the 3, thought about it, back to Baldwin from downtown. Yes, that's a shot that he can hit. He's the guy you got a key on today as he's 37% from behind the arc. Wake Tech cutting the deficit down to 4 now. Najee Thomas, double team. Somebody's got to help. They get it out to Rutherford, top of the key. That 3 is no good from Campbell, and Wake Tech collects the rebound. Eagles trying to push. They like to push the tempo too. Another steal. All alone, it's Rutherford with the 2-hand jam. Brunswick back up by 6. Cooper brought it into the forecourt. Benjamin driving. Off the back iron, no good. Thomas trying to wrestle the rebound. And he's got to save it off the deflection. He gets it into the forecourt now to Pope, who will set up the offense for the Dolphins. Furlow, turnaround jumper, and the defender drew contact. 14 fouls now on Wake, 3 on Brunswick. Jordan Furlow played just 9 games for USC Upstate. 78% free throw shooter, gets the first one to go. He's talking about Najee Thomas and his free throws. He actually redshirt last year, so Najee didn't play last year. So it might have been 2 years ago, which was my first year with Brunswick, as Furlow gets them both. Najee Thomas shot 44% 2 years ago. From the free throw line, he's over 70% here this year, and that's, you got the time to work on it. 11:33 left to go. Nice pass underneath, and a two-hand jam again. That's the second dunk already for Armstrong. 20-14. Inside 11 and a half to play here in this opening half. Rutherford on the right. And in the corner, that three is long. Ball goes out of bounds, though. Last touch by Benjamin for Wake Tech, so the Dolphins will keep possession. Pope will inbound it. Campbell will back it out. Pope, cross court, 8 to shoot. Furlow, turnaround jumper from the free throw stripe, got it to go. Dolphins back up by 8, 22-14. Inside 11 to play, 10:49 to be exact. Humphrey across midcourt. The pass back to Humphrey. The back door was wide open, and Humphrey walked right into an easy bucket. So if you had a little bit of a criticism for this 5-2 Dolphins team, defense has been a bit of a problem. Teams are scoring at a relatively high clip, although the Dolphins, you got to factor in the fact that they're playing faster than they did last year. Turnaround jumper by Benjamin, the old school post move there from Benjamin, couldn't get it to go. We have a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it with Wake Tech. Almost midway through this opening half, 10:17 left to play here until halftime. And 19 on the shot clock. Baldwin only needs a second of it to bury yet another triple. 22-19, Baldwin's second three. That's a deep look at a three and no good. So the Dolphins trying to go quickly as well, and now a tie-up underneath. And I believe they called another jump ball, and this time we're going to stay with the Dolphins. Looks like Silas Love's coming back into the game for Brunswick. Rutherford, who missed the three earlier, will inbound it here on the extra possession for Brunswick. Corey gets it in to Campbell in the corner. There's cross court to Pope. Pope thought about it. And look in for Furlow, and that ball was, I believe, kicked out of bounds. So Rutherford will step to the right. Just 7 seconds off the shot clock. Inbound deflected, taken away, but it's deflected again, and Silas Love the beneficiary. 24-19. Lucky break there for the Dolphins. 9:42 to go here in this opening half. Humphrey into the front court. Humphrey guarded by Pope. Furlow. Brunswick trying to guard the post. Now the corner shot, no, with 7 on the shot clock. Love, there's the home run ball. And it's another big-time dunk, this time from Pope. 26-19, the Dolphins leading by 7. We've seen several highlight jams here in this opening half. It's been a fun one. So Wake Tech with the basketball as Humphrey brings it into the forecourt. Baldwin, nice pass. And underneath, good post, good cut by Armstrong on the pass. Armstrong using his body there. Doesn't look like the young man has a ton of size, but if you know what you're doing down there, you don't need to be the tallest player. That's Charles Barkley. Silas Love, pass deflected and taken away. Steal by Armstrong. So Wake Tech is hanging around after a horrid start in the opening 90 seconds. They can cut it to 2, although Baldwin misses the 3. Extra possession, though, for Wake Tech. Double team comes, but Dans underneath lays it up and in. So Dans is back out there with 2 more. And just like that, Brunswick's lead is down to 3. Furlow again, the mid-range guy, with his second straight from that range. So Jordan Furlow came in averaging under 5 points per game and shooting over 42%, is 2 for 3 from the field. Armstrong driving, Dans able to get it from the corner. Pope from deep, yes! Brunswick pushes the lead back out to 6. Jeremiah Pope is 49% from three-point range so far. It's early. It's 7 games worth of stats, but those are good numbers. How about Dans with the little fall away, the Karl Malone right there. Nearing 7 minutes left to go here in this opening half. Up and down we go. That ball deflected and another turnover, so Wake Tech started out sloppy. As the half has gone on, Brunswick has gotten progressively more sloppy as that long 3 is missed. Extra possession, and guess who's got his 3rd dunk of the night to cut the deficit down to 2? It's Armstrong, 31-29. Let me catch my breath here for a moment. Rutherford. Furlow again, gets it back out to Corey. His pass is deflected. Active hands for Wake Tech here in the late stages of this opening half. And that's going to get some bodies off the bench for both teams. So Love and Pope remain out there. Scarborough checks back in. Campbell back out there. And Wiley for the first time tonight as he misses the 3. That's Derek Wiley. Came in 40% from behind the arc. So 2-point game. There's Humphrey back out there for Wake Tech. Finds the open man in the corner. Baldwin can't get the 3. And another offensive rebound for Wake Tech. Dolphins struggling on the defensive glass here today. It's going to be team foul number 4 on the Dolphins. Both teams with 4 team fouls with 5:56 left to play here in this opening half. We'll take our normal halftime break of about 15 minutes. So Wake Tech trying to tie it up now. And Humphrey does so. 31 all, first tie of the ball game since it was 0-0 in the opening seconds. Wiley Jr. Love goes around the defense, can't get the roll, but he is fouled and will go to the line. That's team foul number 5 now on Wake Tech. Silas Love is 20th in the NJCAA Division I in scoring at 21.3 points per ball game, much like last year when he was in the top 20 for most of the year scoring-wise. Free throws at 63% as he gives Brunswick the lead there. Silas has scored over 20 points, at least 20, in 5 of the first 6 games. He's off to another hot start like he was last year. Just 1 out of 2 from the charity stripe, though. Wake Tech can take their first lead of the night as Humphrey brings it into the forecourt. 5:37 left to play here in this opening half. Baldwin out near midcourt with it. Baldwin spins around the defender, goes to Humphrey, attacks and scores. The Eagles have their first lead. The team from Raleigh with a 1-point advantage. Good ball movement, finding the open man. Pope, no. Love got it blocked. Wake Tech looking to run. It's Humphrey. Baldwin. Baldwin pull-up. No. The tip, no. But a foul called on the Dolphins, and that's going to send Tomlin to the line. Righteous Tomlin. 50% from the charity stripe this season. And before the free throws, a timeout. So the Dolphins call for time. We'll take a break, too. 5:04 left to go in this opening half. Dolphins trail by 1. We'll be back. .504 remaining in the opening half. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Wake Tech with a 33-32 advantage. Dolphins have led for most of the night, but Wake Tech has come on strong here in the later stages of this first half as Tomlin misses the first free throw. Both teams with 5 team fouls. Wake Tech just came out sloppy. They increase their lead now to 2 as Tomlin goes 1 out of 2 from the charity stripe. Wiley Jr. on the left wing. Turnaround elbow jumper. Pope can't get it to go. And again, here come the Eagles. Attacking the reverse. Yes. Up and down. Wake Tech. They are getting whatever they want on the interior here tonight. It's been zone for most of the night. Pope for 3. Yes. So Brunswick cuts the deficit down to 1. Jeremiah Pope, that's his third, I believe, three-pointer tonight. 4:17 to play in this opening half. Humphrey looking underneath again. Why not? Defender went for the steal. That left Armstrong all alone as he puts it up and in for 2. Pope thought about it. Instead underneath, and Scarborough was out of control. He got bailed out by a foul, though. Adrian Scarborough. That's 16 fouls now on Wake Tech, so Fish will be in the 1-1. Looks like a couple of subs coming in for Walter Shaw's team. Osborne Harvey's back out there. .20 on the shot clock as Pope will inbound it. Here's Silas Love. Back out to Pope. Corner 3. Can he get it? Not that time. He's been hot from downtown. Nobody getting back on defense. It's a 4-on-3, and they blow the putback attempt. Humphrey stays with it. It's been offensive rebounds galore, but Humphrey double dribbled with the basketball. 3:40 left to go. Brunswick gets it back on the turnover, but the interior defense has been non-existent here tonight for Brunswick. They have not done a good job cleaning up on the glass. That's been an area where they've done pretty well this season, and an area where Wake Tech has struggled. They're Wake Tech -4 rebounding, and Brunswick is +6 on the boards. McDonald for 3. Can't get it. Put back underneath. Yes. By Pope. Still, with all that said, Brunswick is down just 1. Mentioned this is a Region 10 opponent, but they are Division 2 Region 10. Brunswick Division 1. What's the difference? Well, much like the NCAA, it's got a lot to do with scholarship money. The difference in the NJCAA at the JUCO level with the divisions is it's not uniform. That means a men's basketball team could be D2, a women's basketball team could be D1, a softball team could be D3, and the baseball team could be D1, all at the same college, which is still strange to me, but that's the way they do it. And again, it's all about allocation of dollars available. Brunswick, as I mentioned last year, because Coach Shaw got mad at me, is a Division I program, but they don't offer athletic scholarships. So, make sense of it what you will, but that's how it works. Silas Love goes right around the defense, and Brunswick takes the lead back 39-38. Late in this first half, 2:24 to play. High scoring as we expected. Brunswick 95 points per ball game. Wake Tech's only averaging 74, but they've played some tough programs. When they're rolling, they are scoring the basketball pretty well. And this is a good Division II program, by the way, historically. Adam Wainwright took him to the national tournament last year. Nice looking shot. Osborne Harvey for three, and Brunswick making a run here late in this first half. Osborne Harvey was just 29% from three. Brunswick by 4 now. Shoring up the defense, and it's leading to some good buckets. Well, they're going to get an over the back on the rebound putback attempt for Wake Tech there. And I believe that'll lead to 1-1 for Brunswick. So 1:41 left to go. Brunswick 42 and Wake Tech 38. So we will have free throws. Front end of the 1-1 is up and good. We're still struggling a little bit with the quality on the stream, folks, but I believe it's Scarborough at the line as he gets them both. It's a work in progress is the best that I could tell you right now. But I know I'm struggling to see, so I'm certain that you're struggling to see. I can tell you that when I was physically there at Brunswick, it was a chore every game to battle the internet in that facility, so I understand a little bit. That's why I'm here, though. I'll tell you the best I can anyway, who everybody is. Humphrey. Scarborough with the rebound off the miss, nearing a minute to go. 1:09 to be exact. Here come the Dolphins, looking good late in this first half after struggling a little bit. Silas Love the reverse. Yes, it hung for a minute, but eventually drops, as most of them do for Silas Love. Young man, 65% shooting on the season. He's a terrific player. I know there's options for him out there at four-year schools. I'm interested to know, will it be Division I, or will he go back to D2? .4, and we're going to stay with this end. Wake Tech basketball, and the official near the table, I believe there was a clock issue, and it might involve the shot clock. So, yeah, they set it to 20. It was at 30. Again, at halftime, we'll take our usual break. You guys can do the same. Okay, so they changed the game clock to 48.1. They changed the shot clock to 20. Good eye by the official. Boy, that was a lazy bounce pass, and Brunswick's going to get a two-hand jam as a result. And just like that, the Dolphins are back up by 10. They have straightened themselves out defensively, and they have put together a nice run late in this first half. And we got a technical foul called now. Technical foul was called on the Dolphins, I believe, so Wake Tech is shooting free throws at the other end. And apparently they got 1 out of 2. We couldn't see. So Wake Tech gets the benefit of a technical foul call. Both teams now are in the bonus, although we are late here in this first half, inside 30 seconds to be exact. There's about a 7-8 second difference between game and shot clock as that ball deflected out. Is that going to be an offensive foul? It will be. Dan's looking to draw a contact, but instead a turnover. So the shot clock is off, and the Dolphins can hold for the final shot here in this opening half. Good into the first half for the Dolphins. Want to see it wind down with a bucket here. That pull up by Pope, no good. Wake Tech will try to go quickly from half court. It's an air ball, and the Dolphins take a 9-point lead into the locker room. 48-39, another high-scoring first 20 minutes for the Dolphins. We will take our halftime break with the Dolphins ahead by 9. You're watching Brunswick Community College basketball here on YouTube. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. Dolphins basketball is brought to you by our friends at Coastal Insurance. We thank them so much for their support. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. On to the second half we go. Good first half for the Dolphins. It was kind of a tale of three first halves. Dolphins started out lightning quick, and then Wake Tech started to pick up the intensity, really crashed the glass, got several extra opportunities on the offensive end, and that helped them take a brief 4-point lead after the Dolphins had led for most of the half. Then towards the end of the first half, to last about 3 minutes or so, Dolphins made a run. They led by as many as 10 in that opening half. The 10-point lead coming late, and as you can see, it's a 7-point game as Wake Tech gets on the board first here in the second half. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube as that air ball is rebounded by Silas Love. Pope's in double figures. Silas Love in double figures already for the Dolphins. Same starting five for Brunswick as started the game. Osborne Harvey. Did he get tied up? No call there. All right, we play on. Here's Silas Love driving, waiting for the defense. Smooth, man. So smooth. Silas Love with two more. He has been working them inside. Credit Wake Tech offensively. They've gotten some good buckets inside, courtesy of Michael Armstrong as well. So it's a little bit of an old school game for you folks. A lot being done in the interior here today. First foul of the second half will belong to Brunswick here in the early stages. So Wake Tech gets a fresh 30, actually free throws. I'm looking, and I don't see any changes to the starting lineup for Wake Tech either. Humphrey at the line connects on the first one. So Brunswick led by as many as 10. Wake Tech led by as many as 4. Brunswick looking to get their first home victory against Wake Tech in a while. I mentioned Brunswick picked up a forfeit win after losing on the court last year in Raleigh. A couple of years ago, the meeting between these two schools that was set to take place late in the year was canceled due to inclement weather. Shot clock down to 7 now. Driving Scarborough, and he loses it. Good defense for the Eagles. Wake Tech Eagles coming down from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Baldwin cuts it down to a 5-point deficit with that bucket. Drawing contact. Dolphins will get some free throws. Osborne Harvey, the aggressor there. Damon Osborne Harvey from the Charlotte area. Good free throw shooter at 86% this year. So both teams with a team foul here in the first 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And Osborne Harvey gets them both to push the lead back out to 7 for Brunswick. 52 to 45, 17:51 left to go here in this opening half. Folks, we got the YouTube chat. I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the game, but if you're watching and it's feasible for you, feel free to get a shout out in on the YouTube chat. Let us know who you're cheering for. Love to mention you during today's game. Culberson, Humphrey, and now Baldwin. Baldwin, dangerous scorer. Here's Armstrong, dangerous on the inside, and that is a man's move right there. And I like this Michael Armstrong. He is a flat-out baller. Osborne Harvey rejected on the interior as he was attacking. Oh, Pope all alone. Too strong. Nice rebound and throw out. Osborne Harvey can't get it to go, but cleaning it up. The Dolphins able to get that bucket, luckily, from Scarborough. Well, having real trouble seeing that one, folks. I believe it was Campbell. Wake Tech answering back. Back and forth we go to start off this second half. Here's Silas Love losing it. hands have been an issue controlling the ball for Brunswick here today, and that's usually does not bode well for them as Armstrong misses. The Dolphins this year are averaging 26.5 turnovers per game in losses as they get that bucket to go. 16:15 left to go here in the ball game as Humphrey brings it into the forecourt. Open look for Culberson, corner three, no. Scarborough the rebound. Pass a little bit high, but McDonald able to gather. McDonald, Campbell, extra pass out. Osborne, Harvey attacks. Oh, nice move. These kids are just going at one another here tonight. Wake Tech and Brunswick in a good one. Dolphins increasing their lead back out to 9. Good ball movement. Armstrong left alone. Nobody wanted anything to do with him, and he says, thanks for the early Christmas present. Now Brunswick, Osborne, Harvey. And that's the second time that they've tried to go quickly after a make, and Wake Tech was ready. Oh, we saw a couple big jams in the first half. That dunk was missed, but Benjamin gets it back, and he's going to the line to shoot free throws. 2 team fouls now on the Dolphins, just 1 so far on Wake Tech here in the early stages of the second half. Hi to Lisa, who is not being shy, checking in on the live chat. Lisa Fields, a Dolphins fan. Hey, if you're up in Raleigh, it's okay. You're welcome in our chat too, Wake Tech fans, so feel free to give us a shout. Keep an eye on it as much as I can. So Sterling Benjamin, 69% free throw shooter, gets the first one to go. As Adam Wainwright, the head coach for Wake Tech, shuffles some guys in and out. Took out Armstrong. Both free throws are good. Brunswick's lead just like that, cut in half. Down to 5, 58-53. 15-10 left to go in the game. McDonald, nice pass. Oh, that was beautiful. And you know Silas ain't going to miss from there. The dish by McDonald, though. Young man who's from Raleigh, by the way. Open look, Benjamin in the lane. Bounced around, no. Brunswick doing a better job here in this half with rebounding the basketball as Spencer's out there. And Spencer got bumped. So both teams with 2 team fouls, 14:48 left to go in the game. And Trayvon Spencer will inbound it. I believe it was Spencer who made that play. I said it was McDonald. Again, it got a little grainy. Dolphins trying to attack now again. Instead, they back it out, though. Nothing doing on the inside. Mid-range, in and out. Put back, yes, by Scarborough. And the lead grows to 9. 14:26 left to go. 62-53. Dolphins trying to get the W and go to 6-2 on the year and stay unbeaten at home. They're 3-0 here at home. Corner shot, Baldwin. He is dangerous. Got to keep an eye on him from behind the arc as he buries another triple. That's his 4th, I believe. McDonald almost had his pocket pick. Stays with it, though. Got it to Pope. Pope, good first half for Jeremiah, shooting the basketball. Wiley Jr., correction. Spencer will go to the line on the 3rd team foul for Wake Tech. So we got an Adrian Scarborough fan, Caitlin, checking in. Also, Brian, rooting for Wake Tech. Glad to have all you folks watching there tonight. As Spencer misses the first one. Spencer, 69% free throw shooter. More subs coming into the game. Najee Thomas, we didn't see him a lot in the first half. He checks in. Coming back out there, Michael Armstrong for Wake Tech. So not a lot of first half minutes for Najee. Second free throw is good to push Brunswick's lead back out to 7 now. Pope, top of the key. Culberson gets it underneath, and extra pass, Armstrong to Dans for 2. Campbell back out there. Campbell into the lane. Swings it out. Catch and shoot 3 is short, but Pope there with the offensive rebound for the Fish. Underneath, shot no good. Good box out there for the Eagles. Here comes Wake Tech. Humphrey from the elbow. Around the world, no. Just inside 13 to play. Quick shot and another miss. So both teams cooling off a little bit. 12:52 left to go to be exact. I believe Spencer got a block there. Armstrong having trouble now with the size of Najee Thomas as Thomas gets the block and the takeaway. Underneath, that's Scarborough. So Brunswick ends the short scoring drought and pushes their lead back out to 7. Baldwin from inside the arc this time, no, but flying in was another Wake Tech player to get the putback. That bucket was by Johnson, by the way, Malik Johnson. Najee Thomas on the putback attempt there draws contact, and Najee will go back to the line. 65-60 at the 12-minute mark. Got another Eagles fan checking in on the YouTube chat, Lamar. Thomas was 2 for 2 from the charity stripe in the first half, and he stays perfect after netting in the first of 2 here. Spencer out and Corey Rutherford coming in, the former Winston-Salem State player who averaged about 2.5 points at Winston-Salem State, a CIAA program. Both free throws good, and Brunswick by 7 once again. Rutherford here at Brunswick so far in the early going of this season, averaging just under 5 points per ball game. That's Cooper. Ball swung to Dans. Dans with the fake, drives, can't get it, and the putback attempt is also no good, but a foul called on Thomas. So that'll send Armstrong to the line. Michael Armstrong, 12.2 points per ball game, 71% free throw shooter. As I mentioned, Wake Tech's a strong Division II program. They won the Region 10 Division II tournament last year. They reached the National NJCAA Division II Final Four back in 2014. Last year they went 20-13, losing both games at the national tournament. But good experience for those kids as both free throws no good. 2 rare misses from Armstrong. Here comes Brunswick looking to push. The quick 3 around the rim, no. Offensive rebound by Jordan Furlow, who's back into the game, and a foul is called as the fouls have started to pile up with a little more frequency here in this second half. That's 5 now on Wake, and I believe Brunswick has 3. Double checking it. So 20 on the shot clock. Najee Thomas throws it up in the lane, gets it to go. Thomas, surprisingly slow start offensively for Najee, shooting just 31% in the first 7 games, but he's got a good touch, and I'm sure those numbers will come up as the season progresses. Quick 3 in the corner, no good. Offensive rebound by Armstrong, and he gets the putback. So Wake Tech is not going away, folks. They are hanging right with Brunswick here tonight. Furlow hesitated, then shot it, and it's pure. Brunswick matching its biggest lead of the night at 10, 72-62. Jordan Furlow, 43% from behind the arc this year. He's shooting a percentage better behind the arc than he is overall from the field. This is Cooper on the left wing for Wake Tech. Gets a screen, but instead the Baldwin. Baldwin attacks, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Rutherford. Eight to shoot for Wake Tech. Got to be wary of the shot clock here. Baldwin, Armstrong left alone. Instead underneath the Dans. Extra pass with 3 on the shot clock, and good ball movement. Not panicking with the shot clock winding down there for Wake Tech. Campbell, nice pass underneath. Oh, Najee Thomas, in your face. We saw, if you weren't around for the first half, folks, if you're not familiar, you can pause and rewind live YouTube games. And the next time we have a timeout, go back and look at about the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game. I'm telling you, folks, we had dunks back and forth. Dans misses it, tipped back out. Staying with it is Cooper, back to Dans, who lays it up and in. Again, Wake Tech hanging around. Dolphins trying to push the lead out. Alley-oop, Najee Thomas doesn't have the touch that time. So Thomas 2 for 3 off the bench and attacking quickly. Wake Tech a little out of control there. Now Brunswick has numbers if they want it. Thomas again attacking, and might have been better off giving that one up. Cherry pick. And a two-ham jam from Armstrong cuts the Wake Tech deficit down to 6. So Brunswick in control. 9:06 left to go, but Wake Tech hanging around. We got a timeout by the Eagles. We'll be back. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you as you take a look at my shameless self-promoting there. Want to give me a follow or check me out. If you're new to the broadcast, folks, what we're doing this year, because I moved away from the beach and I moved to another beach in Florida, is I'm actually calling the game from Florida. So that's where I am right now, seeing what you guys are seeing and calling all the action. Najee Thomas, extra pass. Furlow can't get it. Furlow, second effort, no. Third time's the charm, though, as the Dolphins get the putback. So first half, there was a lot of trouble with the Dolphins on the defensive glass, and it led to extra chance opportunities for Wake Tech. And now this, here in the second half, it's the Dolphins who are attacking on the offensive end. Baldwin can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. And the turnaround shot is no good from the newly inserted Atkins. And as I mentioned, Wake Tech has been doing a nice job staying aggressive on the offensive glass. And this time Armstrong's going to get more free throws. Both teams are getting close to being over the limit. Nearing the midway point, or past the midway point, of this second half. First free throw is good from Armstrong, who missed a couple earlier. That's rare for him, though. It's like Silas Love checking back in for Brunswick. 1 out of 2 at the line. Love collects the board, and here come the Dolphins leading by 7. If you're just joining us, Brunswick has led by as many as 10. They've done that 3 different times, once in the second half, once in the first half and twice in the second half. Wake Tech has led by as many as 4. That came in the first half. Rutherford dared to shoot, so he does, and he hits. Corey Rutherford just 30% from behind the arc, but that one looking good. Brunswick by 10. 4th time they've led by double digits. Israel Atkins back out there. The scoop by Key. Deshaun Key got it to go. Wake Tech cutting the deficit down to 8. 7:36 left to play in the ballgame. Campbell on the far side of your screen gets a screen. Tip pass. Furlow blocked, stays with it. Furlow swings it out. Rutherford, extra pass to Pope. Pope from the free throw line, no. But he got fouled. That was with 2 on the shot clock. That's team foul number 6 on Wake Tech. Brunswick has 4. So Brunswick can stay pretty aggressive down the stretch here. Jeremiah Pope played at Fayetteville State, another CIAA program last year. He's from Clinton, as he misses the first free throw. He was perfect from the charity stripe on the season until that miss. Last year at Fayetteville State, Jeremiah averaged 4.7 points per game. He was shooting the ball well, 47% at Fayetteville State. And he shot the ball very well here tonight. He gets 1 out of 2 from the charity stripe to put Brunswick back up by 9 as we near 7 minutes left to go. Cooper driving, swings it out. This is Atkins from deep, can't get it, but it's thrown back up and in. Wake Tech, as I mentioned earlier in this half, they are hanging around. Brunswick trying to attack on the inside. Silas Love couldn't get it to go. Tried to tip it up on a second effort, but Wake Tech cleaning up on the glass courtesy of Atkins. The reverse by Armstrong. And Wake Tech, it's a 2-possession game now. Brunswick's got to stay aggressive here. Eagles are now past their scoring average for the season. Furlow on the reverse, that was rejected, and I think Baldwin got the block. This is Humphrey. Double dribble, or no, excuse me, traveling is the call there. A much-needed turnover as we're going to see Armstrong go to the bench for Wake Tech. Keep an eye on that. Dolphins have been able to get a little bit more inside and box out and get more defensive rebounds defensively when Armstrong's not in the game. So let's see what they do here. It's a zone as Wake Tech's been in for much of the night. Campbell, quick trigger, shot in and out, put back by Love. See again, they're missing Armstrong underneath. I gotta imagine Armstrong's not going to be on the bench for very long for Coach Wainwright. A little push off, but not enough to garner a whistle. Bucket no good. Rebound controlled by the Dolphins. Nobody back on defense. Campbell trying to show time, and it goes in and out. Quick trigger 3, no. Campbell gets the rebound. How about that play from James Harden yesterday? That was similar to that. I think that bucket's got to count, right, when it goes through the net. I mean, that ball was down. It's not like James Harden's going to miss those 2 points, though. Campbell's going to come out of the game now as Osborne Harvey checks back in. Some more subs are in, and it looks like we're going to have timeout. So 5:12 left to go, folks. We'll step aside. Come back here in just a moment. Next broadcast is coming at you on Saturday. As I mentioned, we've got 5 games in about 10 days for the Dolphins. The Holiday Classic will have all the Brunswick games for you next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today's game brought to you by our friends at Coastal Insurance. Want to thank them for their support. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. The Dolphins have been in control, but Wake Tech is certainly hanging around here in this one, down by 7 late in the second half. Humphrey has it on the far side of your screen. Handoff to Baldwin. Now this is Dan's. Baldwin, the step back from the corner, got it to go, and it's a 5-point game again. Brunswick's led by as many as 10 a couple different times here in the second half. Wake Tech has not led in the second half. They did lead by 4 briefly in the first half. Campbell attacking. Osborne Harvey in the corner. And that 3, what a shot. Pope gets it to go, and it's 85-77 now. Brunswick by 8. Oh, the back door was open. Key was not able to gather, though. It's a 3 by Baldwin instead, so it works out for Wake Tech as Baldwin connects on yet another triple. Inside 4 to go. It's a 5-point game, 3:49 to be exact. Silas Love looking to take over, and he's fouled by Atkins. That might be team foul number 7. It is. Silas, if there's one weak spot on his offensive game, it's at the charity stripe. He's 63% this season, but typically 1 for 2 is about what you're going to get. Atkins is going to come out, and guess who? It's Armstrong back out there. I told you he wasn't going to be on the bench for long for Wake Tech. Front end of a 1-and-1 is no good for Love, and I'd like to see that young man improve in that area. If he can, man, he's going to be real tough. Teams know right now as Humphrey attacks and scores, it's a 1-possession game. If teams know they can hack you, especially late, they'll do that. Love gets it out. Can Pope do it again? He sure can. What a big-time shot that was. Jeremiah Pope. Timeout. Walter Shaw. 3:16 left to go. It's Brunswick by 6. You got a good finish shaping up. Come on back. Well, JUCO ball has been very good to Jeremiah Pope here in the early stages of this 2019-2020 campaign. He's averaging just under 20 points per game, shooting 54% from the field, 49% from behind the arc, and he is the main reason why the Dolphins have a 6-point advantage right now with 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. Big shot after big shot from him. Love has played well today. And we're trying to get it inside. That ball deflected out, and they say it's off Wake Tech. Great defense there for the Dolphins as Baldwin upset with himself. Full court press is on. Man press for Wake Tech. Dolphins with 2:44 left to go, and that's a takeaway. Humphrey with the steal. Humphrey attacks. No, but following up is Baldwin with the two-hand slam. 4-point game. Still 2 possession. 2:29 left to go. Pope, top of the key. Campbell, and Campbell is fouled. Jordan Campbell, a good free throw shooter at 83%. 8 team fouls for Wake Tech, 4 for the Dolphins. 2:21 left to go. Jordan Campbell's been dishing the ball well here lately, as I mentioned in the first half. In his last 3 games, averaging nearly 8 assists per game. He's in the top 50 in Division I with 5.4 assists per game on the season. Dolphins, thanks in part to Jeremiah Pope, their 3-point shooting has really improved this year as they go back up by 6. They're over 40% in the first 4 games this year. That's going to be a foul on the Dolphins. Will they say that Humphrey was in the act? I don't think so. So that's 5 fouls on the Dolphins. As I mentioned, they can stay aggressive nearing 2 minutes to go. Still a 2-possession game. Shot clock is at 20. I don't know. Looks like the Dolphins are going to make a sub. Might have a player who fouled out. So McDonald comes into the game. Baldwin into the forecourt now. 2:02 left to go. Shot clock at 10. Baldwin swings it out. Back to Baldwin for 3. Too strong on that one. Love with the rebound. Dolphins get it into the forecourt. Quick 3, no. Tip up, no by Scarborough. No need to go quick at this point if you're Brunswick. As Baldwin answers back. It's a 4-point game again. This is as close as the Eagles have been able to get it here in this second half. Great ball movement. Scarborough with the emphatic dunk. And with 1:22 left to go, Dolphins back up by 6 now. Humphrey for 3. Looking to draw the foul. A rare miss here in the second half for Humphrey. Attacking is Love, and he'll go to the line. Silas Love is fouled. Hey, we got Adrian's mom checking in. Marlena Scarborough. Marlena, thanks for checking out the game. We got a close one now. Love, as I mentioned, has struggled from the free throw line. If he can get one here, he can make it a 3-possession game. He misses the first. So today I believe he's 2 for 5 from the charity stripe. 1:09 left to go. Dolphins still with 5 team fouls, and that was Wake Tech's 9th. He missed them both again, so still 2 possession. See how Wake Tech tries to capitalize. Floater in the lane, no. Tip up, no, by Armstrong, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Dolphins, so we'll stay on this side of the court. Inside a minute to go, and it looks like Adam Wainwright wants to call time and talk about it. We'll step aside as well. 58.1 left. Wake Tech trying to climb back. Dolphins trying to hold them off. We'll be back. Today's game brought to you by our friends at Coastal Insurance, and we thank them, as always, for their support. So, some work to do here for Wake Tech. Brunswick trying to get a couple of defensive stops and go to 6-2 on the season, 4-0 at home. Wake Tech looking for their third victory of the year. Armstrong, short on the hook. Nice defensive rebound. Dolphins will play keep away here, and Wake Tech's got a foul. Pope will hang on to it. They're going to let it play out. Here's Love. Can't get the jumper, but an offensive rebound, and now Wake Tech has to foul. We're inside 30 seconds. So Brunswick will go to the line. That's the 10th team foul, so 2 shots no matter what here. First free throw is good. So the shot clock is off, and that makes it a 3-possession game. That's why that free throw was so important. One more for emphasis. Baldwin's got to go quick here for Wake Tech. Don't have to think about the 3 yet, but if you get a good look, why not? Baldwin shoots the 3. Offensive rebound for the Eagles. Davis from downtown, no. And Brunswick is going to get out of here with the victory as Osborne Harvey with the 2-hand jam. So Brunswick by 10 with 5.5 seconds. And Brunswick's going to go to 6-2 on the season. So Wake Tech will fall to 2-6. They'll be home against Bryan and Stratton this weekend on Saturday, I believe, at 3 p.m. Start of a back-to-back at home for Wake Tech. And as I mentioned, Brunswick will have it for you on Saturday if you can't make it down to the gym. Against Central Carolina, that'll be at 3. So they adjusted the clock to 7 seconds, but that's a moot point right now. Baldwin with 2, with 1, and they get a bucket, but that'll wrap it. 96-88 is your final. The Dolphins win again at home. They stay unbeaten at home at 4-0, 6-2 on the season. Wake Tech falls to 2-6 on the year and 2-4 on the road. As I mentioned, for the Eagles, they'll be at home against Bryan and Stratton on the 7th. That'll be at 3 p.m. And for the Dolphins, their next game is our next broadcast. We'll have the Dolphins battling Central Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m. Folks, thanks, as always, for watching. Once again, your final score, Brunswick 96, Wake Tech 88. Thanks for watching again, and have a good night.